Hello, welcome back to the Sharaba V Tarot channel. I am your host, Pickles. Before I begin, I want to shout out Lilo Vanity, a constant beacon of feminine strength. My readings are based on your Vedic moon signs. Let us begin. I am a servant of the great work, not its master. If you find my reading helpful, I ask that you donate to nobabyblisters.com. $50 is 2 weeks of pain medication and gauze and medical tablets. Anything below that is a week of pain medications to ailing children. If you need any further assistance, check the description box. I will start with the air signs, so Aquarius, Gemini, and Libra. Then I will move to the water signs in order of Pisces, Cancer, and Scorpio. Without further ado, let us begin. So first up, the Lovers card. So my Moon in Aquarius has the Lovers card up first. So it looks like you've recently been smitten. You've been smitten. There's something that's caught your attention and it has your full undivided attention. So it looks like you're the aggressor here. So if you have a Moon in Aquarius, you've recently found a passion or a lover, or there's something that has just has you over the moon. What that means is you are currently on an emotional high. The thing about being on an emotional high is what goes up must come down. As happy as you are now, you must remember that anything that you get involved with has to have ebbs and flows. As great as you feel right now, enjoy the moment, but remember that moments are just that. That means that once that moment is over, emotions will shift. The Chariot card. Oh, wow. So you got two cards coming out of the major arcana for this. So the Chariot card is represented by the number 7, meaning that you're on the right track. It's fast moving energy. And this Chariot card is typically represented by the sun. It's positive moon. It's rolling. And I don't know which one you are. This could be a very dominant situation, or you found something to submit and roll over for. But I'm getting a lot of sexual tension with this Chariot card. I don't know if you're the dominant pushing or the feminine energy of submissiveness, but either way, it looks like you're having a time with this Lovers card that you're currently in Aquarius. Ten of Swords. So be careful though. So it looks like someone is playing the role. So if you have a Moon in Aquarius, you have the Ten of Sword energy, which is a turning point. So you've been wounded. Looks like you're in for a better letdown. Think about the Ten of Swords is not the Three of Swords, but this is a challenge to not overdo it. So whatever feelings you're currently feeling, if you have a Moon in Aquarius, be sure not to overexert yourself. What I mean is when you are and this person are on the same page, don't force it. Whoever this is in this lover picture with you, if you have Moon in Aquarius, they don't like to be forced. They like to have enough independence as to where they get a chance to contemplate their decision. So this isn't the type of person that you're going to be able to sail into your type of view, and you're going to have to use your better judgment for this situation. Next, we'll be moving to Gemini. So twins. So if you have a Moon in Gemini, let's see what's going on. So let's move on to the moon in Gemini. Since it's a Gemini, I'm going to do another shuffle for you, one for one twin and the other for the other. And that's also why I want to touch on why I chose to do moon signs primarily. Because doing a reading off of sun sign is basically doing a reading on how people view you. When in reality, the moon sign represents how you feel. And I'm going to ask you a question. What's more important to you? What people think of you or how you feel about yourself? If you care more about what people think of you than how you feel about yourself, you should abide by a reading that goes with your sun sign. But if you want a reading that gives you a little bit of emotional clarity on yourself and the people around you and how you feel on a day-to-day basis, then a moon reading is a little bit better. So you got the Queen of Wands. So there's something that you have in mind, or there's some manifestations on the other side. And with this Queen of Wands energy, it's really independent. So hold your head high. Your manifestations are above you now. You've been taking a lot of time recently. And with the Queen of Wands, no more effort is required. So this is a time to get out of Spirit's way. Whatever you have asked, whatever you have pleaded the Spirit to provide for you, it is on its way. But the Queen of Wands is still feminine energy, it's strong energy. It's real. Hey, I already told you, you're okay. There's nothing else to do. And any action you take trying to move this manifestation forward, you're going to have to be like a kid waiting on Christmas Day. You're not going to get your presents today. You're not going to get your presents this week. You're going to get your presents on the 25th. What that means is, if you with a little patience, you might just want to stay out of this Queen of Wands way. But congratulations, whatever you're trying to manifest, Moon in Gemini, it is on the way. The Sun card, so express yourself. So the Sun card is a card of expression, and it's basically represented by the number 19. So this is really good home energy. You could be receiving it. You should feel like you just got a new pair of pajamas and they are just extremely comfortable, or a new pair of slippers, what your comfort food, whatever it is that just makes you feel very warm and fuzzy on the inside. That is where you are currently. The challenge is to not lose sight, the thing about the Sun card is Icarus. And once upon a time, and there was this guy named Icarus who flew too close to the sun, and he really just wanted to fly because he wanted to touch the sun. And every single time, the wings would burn up and he would fall below. What this means is, don't get too optimistic. Keep a realistic expectations, because right now you're feeling all warm and fuzzy, but you have to remember to temper your expectations, because life deals the cards. We do not. With that said, 4 of Swords. So resting on that sun energy, it's time to relax, recuperate, and heal. So while you've been manifesting, it feels like with the Queen of Wands, the Sun card, you've been really looking forward to something. There's been something that the soul has been wanting. There's something you've been wanting and working towards. And Spirit with this Queen of Wands still saying, I got you, Sun of card. You can kind of see it in your day-to-day. Things are changing. You're extremely optimistic. You're very excited. But it's time to rest on that excitement. So your challenge right now, if you have a moon in Gemini, is focusing on self-love. You may have been overgiving, and the introvert side inside needs to sit. So whatever you've been putting out, you've been releasing a lot of energy. You've been pushing out a lot of feel good. You've been making people around you feel good. And this Queen of One is saying, hey, it's time to sit down, take a step back, focus on self love. We know you've been, the Sun card also kind of represents being very upfront with people. So you've been around a lot of people who've been perceiving you. But with the Moon in Gemini, that introverted part, that part of you that needs to be silent instead of waking up in the morning, starting a conversation or beginning to talk. This is a challenge just to step back, stop being so overgiving, and let the introvert side of you rest. So even though you feel good, you feel best when you're communicating, you feel best when you're talking to other people, you also need to sit with your thoughts and just breathe. Next, let's move on to Moon in Libra. So let's find out what's going on with Moon in Libra. And I also wanted to take my time. You could be anywhere in the world, but you're here with me. And I thank you. So let's go ahead and read for my Moon in Gemini. Moon in Libra. My Moon in Libra. So you got the Eight of Wands, good manifestation energy. So you've been manifesting something. So swiftness. So you've been problem solving. So you took a moment to review your options. And a quote that goes with this is, a fanatic increases effort while losing sight of the main goal. Make sure whatever you're working for matches the effort. So if you've been putting in a lot of effort, whatever you're getting out of the situation has to match what you're putting into it. So it looks like this is something that you've been putting wands in. You have spirit support, and it looks like you are down here. So you see there's a horizontal and vertical axis down here. There's a lot of wands, so there's a lot of manifestations up in the air. So this is a lot of swiftness, problems being solved, pause and review the options. But this is a card of biting off a little bit more than what you can chew. The reason I say this is because you really only have two wands down here. And what that means is you have to trust spirit a little bit more. So you have to let the skies, let the days, let things scale, let spirit move. I'm not feeling a pessimistic or optimistic energy. Just remember to remain even keel, because sometimes with the Moon in Libra, you tend to bounce between extremes. And this is a reminder to remain even keel. You want to be the one going this way, not constantly up and down, because that will exhaust your energy faster. The more emotionally consistent you remain, Moon in Libra, the better it is for you. Eight of Wands up first. Pretty good manifestation energy. Six of Cups. Six of Cups. So with this energy, not really the energy that you want. It's recuperation. You need to return to self, nostalgia, and playful attitude. So we know that the typical adult day-to-day gets very humdrum. It gets very mundane. And before you know it, you're just going through the motions. With the Six of Cups energy, it's a challenge to focus on your inner child. It's a chance to step back and really get back to who you were, not when you were a childhood, but children are really the best with emotions because they tend to be a little bit more self-centered. You see how you have those cups in the back and this inner child right here? It looks like you've been trying to please people around you, be it family members, trying to make sure your job is satisfactory. You're trying to make sure people are satisfied around you. But you also have to remember that before you were in the situation where you were once a child, and this is a card of your inner child requiring a little bit more attention from you. So you may want to, what I would recommend is you may want to get back to a hobby that you once enjoyed a long time ago. You may want to talk to someone who was a big influence in you during that time, or you may just want to sit and go inside yourself. So if you know how to meditate, take 20 or 30 minutes to just sit with yourself and reflect on your childhood and just see what memory or what thought pops up, because this could help you moving forward. And then the Six of Pentacles. So the Six of Pentacles it's a card. You see how he's holding two pentacles? Balance. You may have been generous and feeling slighter, feel like you got the short end of the stick. Do not fret. A challenge to trust spirit. So you've been putting a lot out of there. So with this Eight of Wands, you've been trying to manifest. With this Christmas season, it seems like you might have overspent with Christmas, and you still got to remember bills come around in January the same way. You may have been overexerted yourself, and I think the Six of Wands and the Six of Pentacles. So if you just take a second to step back, you're a little bit out of whack right now, Moon in Libra, and that's really not a good thing. You need to remember to keep a playful spirit. It seems like you've been trying to be overly serious with yourself, taking yourself too serious, and I'm getting a little bit of energy of people pleasing. And this card is saying whoever is in your sphere of influence now, girlfriend, boyfriend, new friends, new job, all this opportunity, you were all right before all of this came along. And you need to remember that you will be all right once it's gone, if it's gone. I'm not saying that it will, but you need to be self-confident enough to know that you have conquered things in the past when things weren't like this. With that being said, your challenge moving forward in this month of December is don't expect an instant return. The Six of Pentacles energy is you're focusing on what's in your hand, but you got to remember that there are things around you. So, for example, Moon and Libra, you are not the only. We can tend to be self-centered sometimes. You have to remember that while you're going through Monday through Sunday, there are also other people going through Sunday through Monday. So just because you feel one way, you should not assume that other people feel as you do. Next, let's move to Moon in Pisces. So if you have Moon in Pisces, let's see what's going on, my dreamers. Moon in Pisces, the bridge between ethers. It's been I know we just got out of Rahu in Pisces, so you were able to had a pretty good time recently. Magician card. This is a good card. You can pull a magician out of a hat. Whatever that you are trying to manifest, whatever you're trying to come to fruition, it looks like you have an idea and you're one step ahead of the fool. That's one thing about the magician compared to the fool card is the fool just steps off in optimism, but the magician says, I have the know-how to do this. They reach into the hat. They don't look into the hat. They reach into the hat and pull out exactly what they need at that moment. You're in front of a crowd of people on stage, Moon in Pisces, and you have a moment of nervousness. But right after that moment of nervousness, you reach into yourself, and without knowing, you pull that rabbit out of the hat. Whatever situation that they thought that you couldn't conquer, it seems like you came out on the better side of it. Challenge with the Magician card is your manifestation. So there are a lot of things that go into the magician, such as you have to remember that spirit is at work also. So there's a spirit at work. You have to do your part, and it's nothing that happens overnight. So even though you're looking at the outcome, which is the rabbit of the situation, remember that you weren't the one who made the hat. So make sure you're cognizant of the people around you, Moon and Pisces. I know you're very optimistic, you're focused on a goal, but no one taught themselves. So remember those that came before you, your teachers, your mentors, your parents, your family members, because you've got some good things coming going into the beginning of 2024, Moon in Pisces. And you got some good manifestations coming. So remember to keep a spirit of gratitude. The devil card. Dun dun dun. Oh no. Oh no. So Moon in Pisces, you pull the devil card, which means that you may be getting over addictions, or there's something that you want to repeatedly do. It's the devil card is always a card of overindulgence. What I mean is you might have recently started something that's making you feel good. You might have picked up a very unhealthy habit, be it a person, be it a substance. You might be a little bit of drink or whatever you're doing. You're enjoying it. You're at a high moment, and this is remind you that you are not the devil. None of us that walk this earth are, and you're headed towards the tower moment. So whatever you're overindulging in, whatever you are taking advantage of, whatever you continuously go back and do, it's about to topple over. So if I were you, whatever it is that you're enjoying, and it's probably going to top. You probably already know what I'm talking about. Whatever you've been doing recently or been overly enjoying, take a step back, because the devil card is always a warning. It is always a warning that we are overdoing things. We are taking ourselves too fast, and it's a painful reminder when we have to remind ourselves that, hey, we are not the end all be all, and you have to humble whatever habit, whatever it is you're overindulging in. It could be a codependency in a relationship. It could be a over dependency on something that makes you feel good. And of course, we all want to feel good, but the devil card is a warning. It's a warning that overindulgence is never a good thing. The challenge here is to take a step back. It's there's pain ahead. And that's what I can tell you. Nine of Swords. So Nine of Swords. Whatever you've been doing, Moon in Pisces, to get your mind off of whatever's making you feel good, it's going to lead you towards feelings of guilt or worry. So the demands we face it, this card demands we face our feelings of regret and obsession. So the fact that you got the devil card, then the Nine of Swords, it means that there's definitely something that you've been overdoing. There's something that's been giving you an emotional high, Pisces, and it cannot continue. So you need to face your difficulties with open eyes. This is terrible codependent energy. That moment when you are going, your friends are probably a little bit tired of hearing about the situation or type of thing you're doing what you're doing. They've probably been dropping hints, and you probably haven't thought anything of it. So they've been giving you advice, and you probably have it's been falling on deaf ears. And whatever you're pouring into, so if whatever addiction, even if you smoke, great. If you drink, great. But you have to tone it back because it's starting to become detrimental. What you want is a good time. What you don't want is a good time to be an escape. I'm spending a little more time talking to Moon and Pisces because this is serious. Once you get the devil card and nine of swords, you're headed towards the tower moment. That's when you start losing yourself. And that's one of the worst places to be in emotionally going into a new year. That's not where you want to be, Moon and Pisces. So if I were you, I would take a step back. It's going to be painful, but there's some self-realization, some evaluation that you need to be doing. So Pisces, Moon in Pisces, you had the Magician card, the Devil card, and Nine of Swords. And seriously, if you know someone with the Moon in Pisces, you might want to call and check on them. Like that's very sinister energy. Next, let's move into Moon in Cancer. Moon in Cancer. So if you have Moon in Cancer, let's see how you feel. I think recently you had to. I remember reading recently that I did for Moon in Cancer. You all were facing a decision, and the challenge was for Cancer was to make a decision based on yourself and what's good for you versus what's good for compared to the advice which could potentially benefit the people around you. Let's see what's going on with my Moon in Cancer. So when you have a Moon in Cancer, that means you have a Moon in the water cardinal sign. So that means emotions are paramount. You need to constantly evaluate where the emotions are coming from, what emotions are making you feel that way, how it's make you feel about yourself. Make sure that you're not overgiving. So when I think of Moon in Cancer, I think of a surfer on a tidal wave. And the thing about that surfer on the tidal wave is you have to make sure that you are moving with the wave and not against it. Because when you move against the wave too much, you typically crash. You have to remember to remain a little bit emotionally buoyant on a surfboard. So Six of Pentacles. So Six of Pentacles. With the Six of Pentacles energy, you've been generous. So feel slighted or you feel like you got the short end of a stick. Do not fret. This is a challenge to trust spirit. So you've really been focused on the material world. So the people around you, you've been focused on probably Christmas shopping more than likely. If not Christmas shopping, you've been focused on taking care of a sick relative, or you may be doing things that make other people feel good, and it's like you might be feeling a little slighted, like you got the short end of a stick. But that's why this is a card of balance, Moon in Cancer. This is a challenge to trust spirit. With that being said, you're doing pretty good. The Six of Pentacles is a pretty steady energy. It looks like you've got a lot of different things going on, and it's leading to a little bit of overthinking. So right now, there's a situation that's coming to the forefront of your mind. It's not as bad as the Seven of Swords, which is you're overthinking about things that really don't require as amount of thought, but it's the Five of Swords. So whatever problem, they say advice is what we ask for when we know the answer and don't want to accept it. That's why you're getting this Five of Swords energy. And you have to accept your own limitations. So you may be either about to ask more of someone in your inner circle, but be sure that you are not expecting you out of others. So if there's a friend that you're expecting to treat you better, like they might have said something to offend you, it seems like there's something that you're taking personal, Moon in Cancer, and it's not that. It's just that you have to remember that everyone doesn't have the same heart as you. Everyone doesn't think the same way that you do. So this is a retreat. So you need to seek your own solution. So this warns against the expense of others. So you need to accept your own limitations and remember that the people in your lives, they're not crutches. They're not sitting here to make you feel away. Like it's unfair to expect someone to make you happy all the time. So be sure that you are not becoming or giving someone else to emotional baggage and turning them to emotional crutch, because that's just not healthy for a relationship. Then it becomes you keep taking the sips out of their emotional cup because you want to feel better, but eventually their color starts to dull because you're depending too much on them to make your day. Eventually, that's unsustainable energy, and that's not what you want, Moon in Cancer. What's your challenge? So, Four of Pentacles, Four of Pentacles. So, with the Four of Pentacles energy, you're being a bit stubborn. Someone may have asked to borrow something for you. So, it looks like with the Six of Pentacles, Five of Swords, and Four of Pentacles energy, someone may have asked you to borrow something or asked a little bit more of you, and you decline. But remember, whoever this is that's asking for something is someone you depend on. So it's been someone that you ask to do a lot. Say, hey, do this for me. Hey, do that for me. Remember that relationships are give and take. You have to remember that there is resistance to change results in immobility. So there's a little bit of fear of inadequacy. Remember, you feel a little bit inconvenienced at what this person asked you to do. You're a little bit appalled. But this is someone who helps you out on a daily basis. And I feel like if whatever request they ask you to do, they wouldn't mind doing it for you, Moon in Cancer. So make sure that you are holding up your end of the relationship, the end of the bargain. For example, I don't know, I'm getting a little bit of whoever you're dealing with, Moon in Cancer. I'm getting a little bit of, all right, I'm constantly there for this person, but would they mind doing this for me? This looks like they've asked you something, you just brushed off, no, 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 no. And before you knew it, that could lead to some hard feelings between you and your loved one, because this loved one seems to do a lot for you. And it seems that you're capable of giving this extra effort. Lastly, we're going to end this reading with Moon and Scorpio. So, very serious. So, Moon and Cancer wrapping up. I just want to let you know that it's just Five of Swords. Whatever it is you're overthinking, you think that you aren't capable of, you really just don't feel like doing for this person, whatever they asked you. But I will go ahead and do it for them, because the Four of Pentacles is you're capable, and you feel like it's going to be such a drag. You feel like it's going to be worse than what it really is, but it will really help balance out your relationship if you emotionally support it. Well, maybe not emotionally, but fulfill whatever your significant other family member asks you to do. Lastly, my Moon in Scorpio. Moon in Scorpio. So my emotionally deep Moon in Scorpios. Let's see what's going on. Hopefully, you all are hanging on this holiday season. I know. My Moon in Scorpio. Let's see what's going on with the fixed water sign of Moon in Scorpio. So Two of Cups energy. Two of Cups energy. So it's time to embark on a new journey. Something. It's time to step out of the comfort zone a little bit. So you're getting the Two of Cups energy. It's a self-reflection, because it's time to step back. You really want to reach the Three of Cups energy, which is momentum, it's celebration, and it's spiritual growth. But it looks like you need to evaluate, and you see there's two snakes in the line, so it looks like you got a little bit of pride involved. So make sure that your pride isn't getting the best of you, and remember that we are here to serve others. So instead of saying what's in it for me, you may want to challenge yourself and say, hey, what can I do that can help other people around me? Where can I improve? And I know that's a hard question to ask, because you can feel like you have it going on, but remember, we the service we do to others is the rent we pay to live on this earth. We have to make sure that whatever we're expecting ourselves or whatever we want for ourselves, we need to want it for the people around us as well. So this is a card of self-reflection. So you may want to evaluate, stop and take a look around, not so at yourself, but at how you're treating others. And this is a good card to get going to the New Year's, because you want to treat people how you want them to treat you. If you want respect, you have to give respect. If you want trust, you have to give trust. And remember that spirit is constant. Spirit is a constant flow of energy. You are never alone. Your ancestors have your back, but this is a call to self-reflection. Make sure that we are treating people correctly. Queen, Queen of Swords energy. This is pretty heavy. So you're getting a little bit of nurturing energy. So you've been very generous. So this is a chance to connect with our feminine intellect. So the Queen of Pentacles is often overgiving. I'm sorry, this isn't the Queen. Queen of Swords. So clear perception. This card encourages direct communication. So it looks like you know what to do. There are a couple of knives around your head, but you have a clear perception on where you're going. You're in a good place right now. Moon in Scorpio. Very balanced. Very, very balanced. And usually when the Queen of Swords comes up, you've been doing good. So you've been doing a good job staying out of your head. There really isn't much negative. I'm not feeling any negativity around the Queen of Swords right now. So you're doing just enough on all the things you can control. So one thing you have to remember is you have to have the wisdom to know to accept things that are not in your control, and the point of knowing what you can control and making sure that you're keeping a balance of both. With the Queen of Swords energy, you've been doing just that. So you've been focused on what you can control, minding your own business, and not so much trying to influence how people feel about you, how you want people to feel. You've just been focused on you, very clear perception. This is a very steady energy. Keep it up. Then we're moving to the Nine of Pentacles. Nine of Pentacles. So this is a lot of self-reliance and success energy. So you've been showing a lot of resourcefulness and self-discipline. You've been challenging yourself to become a better person, and you may feel like the work you put in is going unnoticed. But when you look, this is the time to reflect on the year. And when you reflect on this year, you've been doing so well, Moon and Scorpio, that you're probably going to come to tears when you think about all the things you've had to conquer, all the things you've been through. And I have to remind you that you are not the only person going through things. You are. There are other people with other struggles. There are other people with other challenges. So while you're looking at, how resourceful you have been, you have to remember that other people are also progressing, and life is constantly in motion. So the wheels are turning. This is a confirmation that the work you've been putting in is not going unnoticed. But while your people are clapping for you, Moon and Scorpio, remember that you should clap for other people as well. Your inner self, your inner child, and spirit is applauding your growth going into 2024, and you need to keep it up. So the challenge for you going into the beginning of the year is really keep that self-reliance going. I know it's tough to be independent, but independence is its own reward. So congratulations on your recent successes. It looks like you didn't get to this Nine of Pentacles without making it through some situations. So you can see that there are 8 pentacles right here. And you said, I ain't sweating it. You said there's something that got to you. There were a couple of things that really tried to upset you emotionally, and you stayed grounded. You made it through it. You're doing very well. And here on your head, you can see it's looking at the raven. You've been giving over the hope. So this is a theme that whatever you've begun needs to continue into 2024, because you've been clinging on to hope, And that's what you need to do to go through the ebbs and flows of life. Very good energy, Moon and Scorpio. With that being said, that concludes this reading. And lastly, again, if you found this reading helpful, I ask that you click the link in the bio, nobabyblisters.com. Or if you need further assistance, there is a number in the description box. Thank you all for joining me. Have a good one.